Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Casper Network, aka Casper. And before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask you guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I do always greatly appreciate it. And if you guys do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way, definitely hit that subscribe button to turn notifications on to never miss a future update. Now, I've been addressing Casper for a very long time in my videos, and especially now since we are talking more so about, Bitcoin having this nice little bit of a relief rally. Don't know if it's going to happen this weekend or into Monday, as we do know that Monday is the monthly candle close. But I will say this, I am watching more so Casper get a lot more strength. I want Casper to have a lot more trading volume in it, volume in general as well, and I do want Casper to have a lot more strength overall, especially with the recent updates that we've been seeing. I do believe that we will see a lot more, listings this year. I've addressed this multiple times, especially with the recent updates with some partnerships with like D Music, the IPWe stuff, which I'm going to be talking about here shortly. And of course, we see a lot more NFTs or NFT adoption happening in general, and use cases being built on Casper. And we also talked about, friendly market. There's so much to really kind of look forward to in 2022, but more so specifically, I'm talking about exchange listings. Exchange listings are going to be the big selling part to me in terms of catalyst events, because recently we haven't seen too much volume flowing into Casper. We need a lot more exchange listings that have a lot more volume in them. I'm looking at like Binance, Coinbase, FTX, stuff like that. Currently, we do have some like Huobi and stuff, but they're not like, there's volume there, but it's not like it's a huge, sort of, gateway for retail individuals to buy into Casper. But maybe just not a lot of people know about Casper yet. But in terms of the NFT scene, we're still seeing major adoption happening here. We know DeFi is continuing to grow, and we do know that the metaverse is continuing to grow as well. These three categories, these DeFi, NFTs, and metaverse overall assets, have been doing incredibly well, but I believe that we are still extremely early within all three sectors, and that's why I'm looking at Web3 adoption closely, because we know that Casper is a Web3 asset, but it is also focused on a lot of those areas. In my mind, I know that I've always compared Casper to Ethereum 3.0, Ethereum this, Ethereum that. But for the most part, I still look at it as one of those layer 1 networks that has a ton of opportunity behind it, especially considering it already has staking rewards behind it, earning like 12%. That's pretty good, right? So, it already has major catalyst events behind it. It just needs a lot more volume. And I do believe that it needs a lot more eyes on it in general, because I don't think it is that major of an asset just yet for a lot of individuals to learn about it and know about it. That's why I do kind of make these videos, so that you guys can pretty much learn about it before it does go mainstream, because I'm still a fairly small channel overall. But I do like to give you guys some insights on projects like this that do have a ton of ROI potential. Because when it does start its major run, it's going to be a little bit too late. Now, let's stop addressing and stop talking about PA. Let's talk about the real juiciness, aka IPWe. So, yesterday I went over this overall tweet from Medha Parlikar, who is the CTO of Casper Labs, talking more so about IPWe. We know IPWe is huge. It is a major company. I know that it only has 3,300 followers, but do not let the followers disregard you. They are working with IBM Cloud for this major platform. It's for patent or patent NFTs in general. But the best part about it is the connections that they already have, the major innovations that it already has as well. Like, here's some founders and members of just the Metaverse smart pools. So first off, 66 relevant patents. Open Meta Foundation is one of the main members here, but 6 SMEs as well. You can pretty much read all about the metaverse as well. As you guys are probably all aware, it's huge. We're talking about a $500 billion market cap in 2020. It's expected to be about $800 billion by 2024. So it's going to continue to grow and grow. And of course, with IPWe having connections to the metaverse, I'm surprised that not a lot of people are talking about this, but I believe that there's going to be a lot of patents that are going to be released within the metaverse scene, and who's going to be the main player behind that? I do think that IPWe will. And of course, Here's pretty much what you get as a smart pool member, defensive benefits, freedom to operate as well. And of course, they have a pricing breakdown here. I'm not logged in, of course, but again, major connections, 6 SMEs, 66 relevant patents. And of course, blockchain as well, 14 SMEs. And of course, we do see founders coming soon here. But for the most part, they are talking about blockchain technologies and how big this has been. They're talking about a recent PwC study states a tipping point will be reached in less than 5 years, and if global adoption is encouraged at scale, blockchain applications will boost global GDP by over $1.76 trillion and enhance over 40 million jobs by 2030. I've talked to you guys about how big blockchain is, how major of a player crypto is in general, but of course, from IPWe's standpoint, they have a ton of use cases. But as crypto grows and as major adoption for NFTs grows, I do believe that IPWe will as well, which will ultimately lead us back to Casper. But of course, when we're talking about your IP as a financial asset, this is pretty much their main use case here. You can pretty much read all about this. I've said that IPWe is probably one of the most interesting use cases that Casper has their foot in the door with. Just because I know that IPWe long term is going to be a successful project and also company. I mean, they already are pretty much successful, but their history goes all the way back to 2007. Essentially, IPWe was born in 2018, and they have been evolving and building since. Their leaders are transparent. Their mission is transparent. I just think that when we're talking about NFTs, I don't think people realize that NFTs aren't just about JPEGs anymore. There's so much use cases behind NFTs in general, and I'm just very excited for the future of some of these major companies like IPWe, because look at their partners already. I've discussed DLA Piper already with Hedera. I mean, they're a major overall law firm. We know Hyperledger Technology is major. KPMG, major bank. So, even Casper Labs, IBM. I mean, just the connections here alone with Casper is enough to tell me, how big, this is going to be, not only for IPWe, but also Casper as well. So I'm very excited. When we are talking about even KPMG, KPMG definitely is something to not disregard at all. A lot of these are just major players in this space that we don't know how they're going to be, utilized in this partnership. I believe that KPMG technically is just a network, I want to say, but I want to say that it was a bank, but I don't think it was. But again, all of these are more so firms. Like DLA Piper is a firm. I believe that KPMG, actually, now that I think about it, is a firm. But again, they could benefit from utilizing this technology. And we do see, we have partnered with a range of established and certified industry leaders to safeguard the highest quality of execution for our technology solutions. So all of these, main players will play a big role, or a vital role, I should say, in this overall use case, with Casper being the main focus point. Now, with NFT adoption, we are seeing a lot of this taking place, from Walmart to, even, again, NFT investors. JPEGs are just a stepping stone. It truly is. Like, I don't think people realize that, even though, like, for an example, DLA Piper, right? They're already kind of working with Casper here through IPWe, but they're already utilizing Hedera for a lot of tokenization stuff in regards of law-related use cases, and I do think that that's where we will see a little bit of a change of heart for NFT use and utility in general. Like, even from a healthcare standpoint, we know that Hedera has many healthcare use cases that are utilizing NFTs to actually protect patient rights and privacy. So, NFTs are going to be so much bigger than what anybody really kind of sees them being. I mean, yeah, sure, we see, major companies like, for example, Gibson, right? Gibson gearing up to make NFTs based on iconic guitar models, trademark filing reveals. Again, all of this goes hand in hand with how big NFTs will actually be. And of course, we go back a little bit from, just a week or so ago. Why is our NFT marketplace to mint in February its first NFT to be generated from space using its YSAT space satellite, successfully launched last week with SpaceX? Again, This has happened in February, but this is another major use case in terms of the NFT space. This is going to be, generated from space, which is insane to think about. But of course, this is with, Wise Art. If you guys don't know who Wise Art is, they are working with, you've guessed it, Casper Labs. Now, where are we in price and where can we pretty much expect this to go? Well, first off, RSI strength looking very good here. We're pretty much reclaiming those levels that we were at back in December, which is good to me. And this is also the level that we were pretty much at going all the way back to October before we went to that nice little, 24 centile mark in November, I should say, sorry. But I'm actually very excited, to say the least, for us to reclaim some of these levels, for us to build some strength. Volume hasn't been too good. I mean, like, we've been seeing some volume, but it's not anything special, to be honest. Like, it's not, extremely strong. RSI, though, is, being, fairly strong here. I do think that if we could break over 50, I think that will be very good for us. I think that will start for a, I wouldn't say it will start, us to move higher, but I do think that it will allow us to reclaim that 9.5 centile range, which will lead us again to the 12-cent range again, which this is where I want to see us back in. Is this nice demand channel up here at like about 11.5 cents almost to 12.5 cents. That will pretty much be the bullish state of mind that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing on Casper, where we were pretty much back in this demand channel before we went to that 24 centile range, which, again, when we're talking about that 24 cents target, after we reclaim that, I'm actually eyeing 36 cents, because there's not too much resistance up here. Like, there's some resistance at around like the 30.5 centile mark, but for the most part, there's really not too much up here, because we were kind of just coming down in the cascading formation back in the summertime. So, the targets are still laid out on the chart. I'm still watching price action closely here. I just think that we need a lot more volume, similar to even, other altcoins that I'm in as well. Like, there's the volume aspect where we're not on major exchanges. Like, we're on some. Like, Huobi and Gate.io should not be disregarded, but I'm just saying, like, for the most part, we need a lot more volume, because even right now, the most amount of volume is coming from OKX, but, we still need another main player here. We need more volume, because $3.8 million is absolutely nothing if you think about it, especially compared to some of the volume that is flowing over some of these major altcoins in the top 10. Now, for exchanges, I don't know why this isn't opening for some weird reason. All right, so there we go. For exchanges, when we're talking about the volume that is flowing over just Binance alone, it's almost $16 billion. That's why I want Binance to list us. And trust me, they are aware of Casper. They have major, articles already, written about Casper. I would not be surprised by a Binance listing eventually. I'm hoping that it happens here shortly. Maybe after the market kind of corrects itself a little bit and has that nice relief rally. But you can pretty much see a lot of these major players here. Like, that's why I said, don't disregard Huobi and Gate.io, because, them combined, they have $3.4 billion in volume. But is individuals really kind of eyeing Casper right now? Not really, but they should definitely be looking at Casper and addressing it, because they are doing some fairly big things within the NFT scene in terms of the Web 3.0 scene, and I've always said, it truly is Ethereum 3.0 at scale, and I still live by that. I just don't think that it is, the most respectful thing to really kind of treat Casper as just Ethereum 3.0 when it has a lot more potential behind it than that. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are. And if you're with us, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.